right, here we go. Going off. Wow. This is really high. Am I gonna hit the wall first? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is ScrapMan back with another episode of Dream Car Racing 3D, and I have the biggest and most complicated creation I have ever built. Big as in the amount of frames, the amount of parts that this thing has. And this is actually kind of a thank you and a celebration of reaching 20,000 subscribers. So I am inside the Tumbler, the Batmobile Tumbler from the Dark Knight. This is probably one of the coolest looking vehicles out there, and I did see a few of you comment that you wanted to see me try to build this thing in Dream Car Racing, and this is a huge step from anything else I've created in this game. I learned a lot on the process of trying to build this thing. It actually turns, it has suspension, it's even got the actual suspension that the Tumbler has. You can see right in here, there's a very different kind of suspension going on, which actually does work. And it was just, this build was so cool and fun to do, but it was about 9 hours worth of work. And right now I actually do have deformations allowed, so you can see that it does pretty well at supporting its own weight. The only tough thing is it bottoms out sometimes, but it's very low to the ground, so even though I have the suspension really rigid for the most part, if you do a really sharp turn, you hit the ground just a little bit, as you can see. Like, if you look at my other two creations, let's go. We're actually I'm gonna show you the progress that I've come. I've made 3 things in this game so far. So this is my first creation. As you can see, it's really nothing to be proud of whatsoever. This is just me experimenting and actually figuring out how things work in the game. And this is my second creation. This one I'm actually somewhat proud of. It doesn't have much detail. It's mostly just a lot of panels. I mean, it's a bus, but it looks like a bus, and it's really fun to deform because there's so much of it to deform. But this thing, this is just so much detail compared to what I've done before. And not only this, but there's one more thing. Ready? Ready for this? Ready for this? Boom. You can't be the night without having some light. I don't know what that means, but it rhymed, so it sounded good in my head. Didn't make sense after I said it, though. Alright, so what we're gonna do in this video is we're gonna take a look at the details of what went into making this first, and then we're gonna do some crash testing on this thing with the crash test map, and then we're going to do some off-road tests with the mountain map, and we're probably just gonna drive this thing off the top of a mountain and see what happens. Alright, we're in the builder view right now, and this is what it looks like without having anything hidden. So this is the builder view, and this is the normal view. So all of those brownish frames, all of these stock colored frames, those are all of the aesthetic parts of the car. All of the black frames that you see are actually the frame of the car. So I started off with the frame, which is this part here. Everything that is highlighted blue right now is actually the frame that I had to try to make to get it to see if it could work first. So that involved the wheels was the big part of it, and the rear suspension as well, and trying to get the sizing all correct. So once I had that built, then I went ahead and did the rest of it, which is all of the brownish gray frames. And that's all of like these panels and everything that creates the contours. And this part here, the jet engine, that was kind of tough to figure out how to build with only triangular polygons. But as you can see, I've got a Batmobile. It even has like these little vents and stuff on the sides. It's got these red things here. So I'm actually gonna pull up my reference video right now, and I'm gonna show you what I was using as a reference. So this is my reference video. It was a super useful video. If I didn't find this video, it would have been much harder to get this thing as accurate as I've managed to get it. Now there are some little details that are not here because it was just a little bit too much to try to get everything supported, and I didn't want to add that much. Creating the suspension was actually one of the harder things. So I've just hidden all of the, pretty much most of the aesthetic stuff, and we have most of the frame here now. So look at the suspension in here. We're gonna do some off-roading so you can see it in action. But this is a really cool suspension system, and I decided rather than using anything normal for suspension or no suspension at all, I'd try to do this. And the steering was also pretty interesting, because there is nothing actually holding these wheels in the middle here. This is actually just purely on the side, so I was surprised that I was able to get that to work. So I've learned so much about this game in building this vehicle. I am very proud of this, and it's definitely one of my better creations. But, alright, that's enough talking about it. I think I've told you everything I needed to tell you to get this vehicle started. And we're gonna go ahead and start off with some crash testing. Oh, I love the way this thing, did not know I was that close to the edge of the map. Alright, first crash test with the Batmobile. We're gonna see just what happens here. We're gonna slow it down a little bit. Alright. Wait, actually, let's pause right before we hit, and we're gonna go into free cam. This is not gonna be good for the Batmobile, I don't think. Alright, and action. Oh, look at all that crumpling. Look at, oh man, there's so many frames. What is that? What is this thing coming out of the middle? I don't even, oh, that's the that's the jet from the back. That's funny. The jet actually went flying forward. That is so cool. Alright, so that was the straight on wall crash test. Now let's do the pillars over here and see what happens. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get as much speed as we can. There are 4 engines in this thing, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. You can see right in there, 4 engines all bunched together like that. Because this thing is so heavy, I needed that much to get it some speed. Alright, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and slow down, go into, whoop, that's first person. Ooh, that might be interesting to do. But first I want to see third person. Up here like this. Alright. Here we go. Let's see what happens to the tumbler. Well, one side's gonna get it for sure. Oh. This thing actually isn't too bad as far as sturdiness goes. I mean, it was going pretty fast, and the rest of the body held up pretty well. How did the jet do? Yep, the jet seems to... Alright, I want to get a rear view next time, because the jet seems to just plummet into the center of the body, and I want to see what's going on there with that. Alright, here we go. So we're gonna see what happens to the jet engine on this one, and then we're gonna do a first-person crash, and then after that we'll go to an off-road map, so you can really see how the front suspension works, because it's pretty cool to see in action. Alright, here we go. Let's see what's going on with this jet. Slow down a little bit. Alright, what's going on here? Oh, so the entire little frame thing just collapses and just bends right into the center of the body. That must not feel good. How's our driver doing, though? Hey, our driver is actually okay! This thing has pretty good crumple physics. It saves the driver pretty well. That is good to know. Alright, well then let's see it from the first-person perspective. Alright, so what I really like about the Tumbler is you can actually see out the window when you're in first person, but what I don't like is that even though my head is in the cabin, I'm clipping through the top of it here. Alright, here we go. Let's see what we got going on here. First person crash into the wall, and yeah, our cabin stays pretty solid. You can see inside our cabin's pretty good. Let's see what the outside looks like. Not good. Not good. Oh, this is the back. What's the front? Yep, not too much better. Okay, so I think I'm actually really surprised to say that I think Batman would survive a crash in this thing, a head-on crash going at full speed. Okay, now time to do some off-roading. Alright, so we're on the mountain map. I think what we're gonna do last is we're gonna save the big finale. We're gonna drive all the way down this really long and high runway and just dive off the edge and see what happens. But right now, I'm gonna see if we can look at the suspension working on this trail here. I don't know how flat this trail is, but we're gonna find out. Alright, so let's see if we can go up this hill over here. Oh, we're gonna have to get through this S-bend here first. And we're gonna see if we can make it. Oh, that's a much steeper hill than I thought it was initially, but we're gonna see what happens. We put our differential lock on. That's supposed to help us with hills. Look at this! Look at this! Yes! All right, now we're gonna go into this view here so you can see the suspension in the front working. Whoop. Yeah, so you can see each wheel does have its own independent suspension, and whoa, this hill is making it very difficult. I don't know if we're gonna survive this. Nope, we're not surviving this. We are not surviving that at all. But this is a really cool suspension system, and I was really happy that it actually ended up working in Dream Car Racing. It looks really cool too. So let's see, where does this road even go? I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it up this hill, but oh, this is gonna be a little weird. All right, but you can see the suspension really worked in there. All right, let's see if we can make it all the way up here. I'm not sure how easy this is gonna be. 2%. Oh, we have a little deformation thing in the top left. 2% deformations. Or 0.2% rather. Uh-oh. I don't know if we're gonna make. Oh, wait. Oh, it pulled through. It was slowing down there for a second. Oh, no. All right, we're off. I thought we were gonna get wedged on the top of the hill there. So we've got deformations on, and we're still managing to survive this very treacherous cliff. How far can the Batmobile go? I'm actually this is exceeding my expectations way more than I thought it was going to. I did not think this thing was going to be able to make it up hills at all. Oh boy. And this is the end. That's as far as we're going to make it. So first I figured we'd take a drive down this, road, if you can call it that. It's more of a cliff, but with a road carved into it. And then we're gonna go off the big diving board here. All right, here we go. We've spawned facing the right way, and we're gonna see what happens to the Batmobile going down this thing. Oh boy, not off to a good start. Not off to a good start. We have zero control. I don't know how anything could possibly even deal with that hill. Like, is anything supposed to even be able to climb up that? It's literally vertical. Like, I mean, not literally, but it's as vertical as you can get without being actually vertical. And the Batmobile is a pancake. Well, I guess what would you expect after a fall down that thing? I mean, look at that. Look at it. So this is the damage that's been done. I think it's quite a lot of damage. That time, I don't think Batman survived. I don't think Batman survived the fall down the mountain. He can survive a head-on crash into a wall, but not a fall down the mountain. So next up, we're going off that. Alright, so we are on the death diving board, and this is going to be by far the hardest impact that this vehicle will experience, and probably can experience in this game, to be quite honest. Alright, here we go. Going off. Wow. This is really high. Am I gonna hit the wall first? This was way higher than I thought it was. Alright, we're gonna have to do slow motion for this for sure. Alright, let's get a little bit closer. Pause. Alright, free cam this. This is going to be intense. Alright, let's see. Where exactly is it gonna land? Looks like it's going right about there. Alright, let's pause and get a better view. Alright, here it comes. And yeah, it's just completely flattened out. The driver isn't even in the car anymore. Well then. That time Batman is definitely not surviving that fall. He would have to use his grappling hook to grab back onto the thing or something to survive that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. I hope you enjoyed this Batmobile celebration for 20,000 subscribers in Dream Car Racing 3D. If you liked this vehicle, please leave a thumbs up. That would really help out a lot. And if you want to see more, leave some suggestions. Let me know what else you guys want to see in this game, because I had a lot of fun building this, and I learned a lot from building it, so I'm much more confident in my abilities. So I want to know, what else do you guys want to see? Leave some suggestions down in the comments below. This has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time.